Hello there, welcome back to another video. So I have a beautiful fragrance today and a nice fragrance which is getting a lot of compliments, especially for date nights and all of that, and you should definitely consider wearing this if you like a nice tobacco, honey based, cinnamon based kind of a fragrance. I'm talking about this beautiful fragrance called as Paris Corners Wow Elegante, okay, or Wow Elegante or Wax Elegante. Now this is a beautiful fragrance and we're going to talk about the scent profile, projection and lasting, and what is this and all about this in this particular video. You're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Let's get started. Alright, so let's get started. So this is from the House of Paris Corner, and first of all, just look at the beautiful bottle that is, okay, a very nice, good looking bottle, and just look at the juice color, a nice opaque, glass bottle, very heavy, and at the bottom you have some, insignia, and at the top it says Paris Corner. You have a nice cap. Okay, now the cap, though it is looking plasticky, but it is actually metal and it's pretty heavy. Okay, you can kind of listen to that. That's pretty loud. So that's how good a presentation of this particular bottle is. Now, unfortunately, I could not get the entire presentation of this bottle. I managed to get this bottle through a couple of fraggates who have been very, generous enough to share this bottle to do the review and then pass it back on to them. So I have been really lucky to get, a good fraternity, good community here who help, in getting fragrances for reviews. So this is this beautiful fragrance from the House of Paris Corner called Wow Elegante. Okay, now this has got some amazing notes, and like I said at the very beginning, this is a fragrance that you might want to consider for date nights and all of that. A fragrance that can get you compliments. Okay, so let me just quickly do a spray and just look at the spray. The spray is very, very nice. Now this is a fragrance that you will immediately kind of like if you like a light, sweet type of a fragrance that opens with a good amount of cinnamon, a good amount of tobacco, and a little bit of that bergamot, mandarin, grapefruit vibe, citrusy elements, and then immediately you will get a nice vibe of honey. Okay, that's a very prominent note on this particular fragrance. You get a very good vibe of honey, and that is followed by vanilla, tonka beans. So this is a very aromatic, powdery, sweet, lovely type of a fragrance. And at the top you have citrus elements, but you also have lavender that gives a nice powdery talcum kind of a feeling. But mostly because of the honey, you also get a very nice sweet element to it, and that makes this particular fragrance very, very refreshingly beautiful and a very nice date night kind of a scent, right? Now this particular fragrance opens with this particular note, and this is a linear type of a fragrance in my opinion. It starts this way and continues to be like this and continues to become lighter as the time goes by, but on the whole you get a very nice element of this particular fragrance. Now in the heart note of this particular fragrance, there is also jasmine sambac, which gives that light hint of floral, and a nice sharpness that you want for this particular fragrance, especially when you consider honey, sandalwood, or let's say for example lavender as a note, and tonka beans and vanilla. Another element on this particular fragrance is the note of tobacco. Now on this particular fragrance, the tobacco note is not very dominant as such. I feel the tobacco is lightly there in the background, along with the little bit of that Kashmirian note, which is also a very velvety type of a note that you would kind of get. That is also right at the background, so they're not very dominant as such. What you predominantly get is a very nice cinnamon, honey, note profile. A little bit of that lavender is something that you get very nicely, but on the whole a very, very nice fragrance. Now if you kind of been looking at the bottle and if you kind of think about the note, you might have been able to guess that this is a alt of a very, very popular fragrance. This is an alt of the popular Naxos from the house of Xerjoff. Okay, so that's a very nice fragrance. Now I have a small decant of the OG as well, and I've featured this particular fragrance in many of my winter fragrance lists or wow fragrances lists, because this is one of those beautiful fragrances that you should definitely try. Now when I compare this with the OG, which is the decant that I have here, and if I put on a spray of this particular fragrance, one of the few things that I've kind of observed in my testing recently has been that this is very strong in the opening of the tobacco note. Okay, so you get a very nice strong note of tobacco that's followed with the little bit of that lavender, cinnamon, and all this citrusy notes that you get. And after some time you start feeling that the Naxos starts becoming lighter, and the floral element, which is the jasmine element, the honey element, and vanilla and all of that open up. And as the time passes by, about the 5th, 6th hour time, it becomes a little more powdery, so you get that vanilla and tonka beans part of it very nicely, right? Now that is generally the scent profile of Naxos, and it's a very beautiful fragrance. In the air it smells very, very nice. Now The difference that I can find with this is the element in the top note, right? So like I said, the tobacco note is very prominent in the OG here, but in here the tobacco note is not very dominant at all. So that is the biggest difference. Whereas this particular fragrance kind of skips the first 30-40 minutes of the opening notes of this particular fragrance and kind of gets straight into the heart notes of the fragrance, where the lovely sweet smelling cinnamon, tonka beans and that honey, all of that element that you get is that what this particular fragrance goes for straight off, right? So you get that, and like I said, it becomes linear as the time goes by. So the powdery talcum part of it is also slightly lesser, which is very evident in the original that you get. This one goes a little lighter on that. But aside to those two things, right at the top and right at the base notes, if you eliminate those things, in the hair this smells exactly like Naxos, and it's a very beautiful fragrance on the whole in terms of scent profile. Now, in terms of performance, you will easily get about 5 to 6 hours time easy minimum on skin. You will get at least about 8 hours to 8.5 hours on apparel. Very lightly, if you smell your apparel, even after a full day, you will be able to kind of sniff this particular fragrance. One part where this whole fragrance, both of them are alike, is the projection. In my opinion, both of them are decently loud kind of a fragrance. You will get a moderate performance of about 2 to 2.5 feet and not more than that. So it's not a very loud fragrance as such, but you will get a very beautiful scent profile that will last for a really nice time. And in the air, after the initially when you spray it, it's almost exactly like Naxos, how Naxos would kind of smell after about 40-45 minutes time of its opening. But on the whole, beautiful scent, beautiful value for money. I think you should be able to get it for about 1,500 or probably in that ballpark figure. 1,500, 2,000 rupees is what you should be able to get this. I will try and post a link for you to get for you to buy this, and let's see if you can get this. But on the whole, if you've been looking for a nice Middle Eastern house alternate for Xerjoff Naxos, then I think Paris Corners Voux Elegante is a superb fragrance to definitely try, because it's got a very beautiful dense scent profile that is very captivating. It's very complementing type of a fragrance, and you don't feel that alcohol blast or anything as such. That's not at all the case. Very nice, and the presentation is definitely good. Just look at that bottle. You would kind of want to collect this fragrance probably just for the bottle. So on the whole, I think they've done a really good job. So I was very lucky to get this fragrance from the two fellow fraggers, and I'm very, very thankful to them for making this review. And if this review can reach a lot of people and can help you buy a good alternate of Xerjoff Naxos, then you should definitely consider getting this. I do have Scentedelic's Drip Drop, and I also have Al Maham's Naxos as well, but I will definitely compare those two as well to try and tell you which is a very good scent between those two. But here I would say this is almost as close to the OG for about 85%, because that's what I kind of get. But in the air, it smells exactly like Naxos. So no missing on that at all. Pretty decently well made fragrance on the whole, as I said, and if you should definitely consider this. So if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe and share. You're watching The Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Watch out for more fantastic videos coming your way. Till then, take care. Bye now.